we have been working with solving these quadratics, right? I know we skipped the last two in your class. We'll come back and grab those at the end of class if we have time today. But I want to talk about a couple scenarios that you'll see in homework, just so you can kind of be aware of it and ready to go. So the first one, it's finding zeros of a quadratic function, which if you recall from the front page of notes, we talked about the fact that zeros relate to the factors, right? When we're finding the zeros, we're solving the equation. So let's look at this example. A multi-level driving range has 3 levels. Marco hits golf balls from the second level, which is 32 feet high. The height of a ball, x seconds after Marco hits it, is modeled by the function. Notice right here, folks, what are they doing? They're giving me the function, right? No stress. You don't have to do anything horribly different here. They're giving me the function. When does the ball hit the ground? So think about this. When does the ball hit the ground? What do you know when the ball hits the ground? Okay, it bounces, but what about the ground? The ground is a height of 0, yes? Now it might bounce back up or whatever, but they're just specifically asking for when does the ball hit the ground. And so that is when the height is 0. Or in other words, in this case, when h of x is 0. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this equation and set it equal to 0. Okay? So we're going to have 0 equals negative 16x squared plus 16x plus 32. Okay, this takes us right back to what we were doing yesterday. How do I solve?
GCF.
GCF is a wonderful move here. What can all of these divide by?
16.
And even better than just 16, what type of 16? Negative 16. Okay, because that first number is negative, I'm going to suggest negative. So I'm going to divide each of these terms by negative 16, or in other words, officially, I guess I should say I'm going to factor out a negative 16. Yes, it's a number. We could do this either way. You know what? Sorry. I'm being indecisive here. Is that okay? I'm just going to say we're going to divide by negative 16. Because it's a number, we can do that. Now, if I divide everything on the right by negative 16, what's that also mean? I'm going to divide the left by negative 16. What is negative 16x squared divided by negative 16? X squared. 16x divided by negative 16. Minus x. 32 divided by negative 16. Minus 2. And what's this equation equal? 0. So I went ahead and flipped my 0 to the right. You can leave it on the left if you want. Well, what's the hope? The hope is that we can factor this, yes? In order to factor this, what do we need? A product of what? Negative 2. And a sum of negative 1. Well, what's the only option for multiplying to be 2? 1 and 2, yes. If you multiply to be a negative, one of the numbers is negative. How do we make them add to be a negative 1?
Bigger one is negative.
Good. Bigger number is negative, so negative 2 and positive 1. Now, since this is just x squared, we can go ahead and break this up into 2 parentheses, right? X squared breaks into 2 x's, or x and x. You already told me the numbers were plus 1 and minus 2. How do I solve?
Oh, you make them equal to 0.
Yeah, set each factor equal to 0, right? So we're going to have x plus 1 equals 0 and x minus 2 equals 0. Well, if x plus 1 equals 0, what do I get as a solution? X equals negative 1. If x minus 2 equals 0, what do I get as a solution?
2.
X equals 2. So now I have solutions of x equals negative 1 and x equals 2. Now, this was a word problem, yes? Let's go back and see what we should think about in terms of answers. What are we looking for? When does the ball hit the ground? When does the ball hit the time? Or hit the ground? So what are these? When does the ball hit the ground? We were solving for x, and x is in terms of seconds. Are these both good answers? No. Can the ball hit the ground at negative 1 seconds? No. So we're going to eliminate this answer because in this scenario, negative 1 does not make sense. Okay? So because of the negative, it doesn't make sense. So when does the ball hit the ground? The ball hits the ground 2 seconds after Marco hits it. Okay? I'm going to write that out real quick. The ball hits the ground 2 seconds after Marco hits it. Okay? And so obviously you're probably just entering a number, but I wanted to make sure you guys had the idea. Okay, shall we try another example?
Yep.
We're going to talk baseball now. First it was golf, now it's baseball. Baseball is thrown from the upper deck of a stadium 128 feet above the ground. The function h of x equals negative 16x squared plus 32x plus 128 gives the height of the ball x seconds after it is thrown. How long will it take the ball to reach the ground? Now, what's good news? Again, they gave us an equation, yes? Do we need to worry about this 128 they gave us? No, because it's already in the equation. So how are we going to find out how long it takes the ball to reach the ground? What do we know about the ground?
It
has a height of 0, yes? So that ball's going to go up. We want to know when it hits the ground. So we have a height of 0. So again, take your equation and set it equal to 0. So I'm going to have 0 equals negative 16x squared plus 32x plus 128. Well, how would you like to go about solving this?
Take a GCF.
Yeah, is there a GCF?
Negative 16.
You're going to guess, you're guessing 16. Now, here's the deal, folks. Are you allowed to use a calculator? Yeah. Okay, you can use a calculator. So, if there's a GCF of negative 16, I know normally we talk about factoring out. It's an equation. And let me show it this way. I'm going to show it as factoring this time, which still is dividing everything by negative 16. But I'm going to show the negative 16 out front. So what is negative 16x squared divided by negative 16? X squared. 32x divided by negative 16.
Negative 2x.
Good, minus 2x. 128 divided by negative 16.
8.
I'm guessing 8. Is it 8?
That was my guess.
Yes.
And when I say is it 8, I'm looking for the calculator people. Like, have you checked me here? Or I checked my notes. Okay, and it still equals 0, yes? So this is another way to do the same thing up here, because there's an equation, we divided everything. Here, I just factored it out. In all honesty, it doesn't have a variable. It's not going to matter, okay? Now, we're going to keep factoring, yes. Officially, the negative 16 stays out front. I'm kind of assuming this is going to factor nicely, right? Everything kind of factors nicely right now. X squared is going to be in the form of 2 x's. Have you come up with your numbers? What do you need your numbers to do? Okay, they're going to multiply to be a minus, right? They're going to multiply to be a negative, so I agree. They're going to be plus and minus. They're multiplying to be negative 8 and adding to be negative 2. Okay. I heard 4 and 2. If they're adding to be negative, that bigger number is negative, so negative 4, positive 2. So you're going to have an x minus 4 and an x plus 2. Okay. And we're going to set each factor equal to 0. Now, notice, I'm going to set x plus 2 equal to 0. I'm going to set x minus 4 equal to 0. Negative 16, it doesn't have an x, does it? So I can't set it equal to 0. I don't have to worry about it. It doesn't have an x. It just drops out. If it had an x with it, it'd be a different story. Okay? So, solve each of those and see what you get. Yes. Okay, what kind of answers are we getting? Yeah. Blood drive passes are for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Make sure, hold on to them, show them to your teachers tomorrow?
Also now, no, Kayla,
No, she's absent,
absent today.
as of right now at least.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
No, I think that
Okay.
was online for this class.
Okay.
Hopefully.
If you are going to the blood drive during my class, make sure you have your pass, because remember, I'm not here tomorrow. So you need to show that to the sub. Okay? And if you don't, if you end up missing my class due to a blood drive or something, make sure you check in with the sub and show them where you were. Okay? Or tell them before you go down, something like that. Okay? Okay. In the meantime of solving, did you guys get negative 2 and 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Are these both good answers? Why not? Yeah. This is how long? Negative 2 cannot be a time, can it? Okay. So we can't do this. So how long does it take the ball to reach the ground? 4 seconds. So ball reaches the ground 4 seconds after it was thrown. Okay. So, yes, they're word problems, folks. Were these difficult word problems? No. These are not difficult word problems. You see that equation, realize, oh, this is going to be, they're giving you the equation. You don't have to set anything up. When does the ball hit the ground? When does it hit 0? When does it hit that height of 0? Okay? Now, let's go to the back page. We've got one more section here. And this is another way to write an equation. Okay, so as you look at this next page, they're asking us to write an equation of a parabola. So write an equation. They're giving us the x-intercepts, they're going to tell us that this parabola is crossing the x-axis 2 times. Okay? And they're going to give us another point it passes through. So, I don't think I have it written anything anywhere else up here. But I'm going to write an equation for you. I'm going to use the form y equals a times x minus p times x minus q. And as I write that equation, this is where p and q are x-intercepts. Okay? So this is the equation you're going to be using on this type of problem. Got it? Okay, anytime they give you your x-intercepts, this is what you're thinking. Now, in our particular problem, it specifically says with x-intercepts of -2 and -1. Where can I put those into the equation?
P and Q.
Yeah, those are going to go in for P and Q. Doesn't matter which is P and which is Q. No, it doesn't. So let's write out what our equation looks like right now. Y equals A times x minus -2 times x minus -1. Now, okay, be smart. What do you know about minus -2 and minus -1?
Yeah.
They're pluses, right? Okay. Okay. Okay, minus a negative, these really just become plus positives, right? Or just one big plus, right? Now, what do we not know yet? We don't know A. Okay. We don't know A, we have to find A. What else did they give me here?
To do a point.
A point. X and Y. Do you see where this is going? They're going to give me a point, X and Y. So now we're going to use that to plug in and find A. So every place we see a Y, we're going to plug in a 20. Every place I see an X, I'm going to plug in a -3. Okay. Let's do some solving. So y equals becomes 20 equals. A is what we're trying to find. X plus 2 becomes -3 plus 2. X plus 1 becomes -3 plus 1. Do some cleanup in your parentheses. (20) equals A times, what is -3 plus 2? -1. What is -3 times 1? Or try that again. -3 plus 1. -2. Okay. Clean that up on the right. And A times a -1 times a -2 is what? Check again. Negative times a negative is going to make it a positive 2A. So we're going to have the equation 20 equals 2A. You can solve that, yes? If 20 equals 2A, then we know A is 10, because I'm going to divide by 2. Okay. We know A is 10, yes? I'm going to take my A is 10, And what form of the equation we were at? We were at right there, yes? We had P and Q filled in. What did we not have filled in yet? A. So I'm going to write my equation as y equals A, which we just came up with, 10. X minus P, we had already decided was X plus 2. X minus Q, we'd already decided was X plus 1. Okay? It's a different equation, but it should have a similar feel to it of, okay, you can plug things in and then you have to go back and find A. We did something like this, but when we were in vertex form instead of, or standard form, vertex form, one of the two. And it was vertex form now that I think about it. We had to find A. This is the key, finding A here. Okay, you ready to try again? Yes, that's your final answer. Okay. Write an equation of a parabola with x-intercepts of 3, 0 and negative 3, 0 and passes through the point 1, 2. Now I'm going to start with my basic equation form. You'll have this in your notes for when you need it in homework. Y equals A times X minus P times X minus Q. Yes? Okay. What do we already know right off the bat? P and Q. P and Q, in some order or another, are 3 and negative 3. So, y equals A times X minus 3 and X minus negative 3. But what do we know about X minus negative 3? Do I even need to do that? Am I killing you guys here? Sorry. Trying to get the little things. Okay. What do we not know yet? We need to know A. How are we going to find A? Plug in X and Y. X is 1, Y is 2. So my Y becomes a 2. My X's become 1s. 2 equals A times 1 minus 3 times 1 plus 3. Okay. You got the math? 2 equals A times, what is 1 minus 3? Negative 2. What is 1 plus 3? 4. So now I have A times negative 2 times 4. Well, negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. So I have 2 equals negative 8A. Be careful. How do I solve for A? Divide by what? Okay, divide by the one attached to the A, right? So we're dividing by negative 8. What happens here? Huh?
Negative.
Okay, that looks weird there. I didn't mean, my sign got kind of goofed up. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have a fraction. 2 divided by negative 8. 1/4, yes? I mean, it's negative 2/8, but that will reduce to negative 1/4. You could even say negative 0.25 if you want in my brain. Savas probably won't like that. I don't care, though. Okay? Did they go okay with a decimal? I mean, you know, it is a decimal also, negative 0.25. I'm happy here, negative 1/4 or negative 0.25. You read Savas directions. If they say use integers or fractions, don't go the decimal route. Okay, can you write your answer? y equals, what are we using for a? I'm going to use negative 1/4, parentheses, x minus 3, and it became x plus 3. And this is your equation in factored form, which is what our job was here, was to write the equation in factored form. Okay. Now, we have 2 problems we skipped over in your notes, yes? Because that finishes us up with part 1. Okay? Now, reminder, part 1 in SOPAS. It's out there, right? It's available. When is it due? Thursday. Because some of us are going on a field trip tomorrow, right? Okay? Okay, so let me back up a moment. I have these 2 filled in. Should we go through them real quick? Do we need reminders? Debating here. I at least want to go through this one right here, okay? Because I want to do a reminder course. So I'm going to erase this one right here. And I'm going to make us go through it together, okay? (2x squared equals 3x plus 2). Okay, solving the equation. What has to happen?
Yeah.
Not yet. Make your equation equal to 0. I can't factor it till I make it equal to 0. I personally like a positive x squared term. So I personally am going to subtract 3x and subtract 2 over to the other side. So then I have 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 equals 0. Okay. Is there a no GCF? Okay, so no GCF. What's our method when there's no GCF and we have an A value?
P equals AC.
Okay. Product of AC or slip and slide? Where are we at? How many people are doing slip and slide? How many people are doing product of AC? Who are my slip and sliders?
Your biggest one is not.
Who are my product of ACers? Okay, and we've got half the class not committing one way or the other. Okay, which way do you guys want me to do this one? I guess it's Tuesday. We're all tired. I've decided Tuesday is the tired day. So I was actually going to do slip and slide first.
Blackish Woods.
Okay, let's try slip and slide. Product. Wait. I don't do product first on slip and slide. Give me straight. What do I do first on slip and slide?
You take the 2 over.
Yeah, we got to slide this front 2 over and rewrite it. So when you slide that 2 over, it now becomes x squared minus 3x minus 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. Now, to factor this, what do I need a product of? Product of negative 4, a sum of negative 3. What numbers are going to multiply to be negative 4 and add to be negative 3? It's got to be some combination of 4 and 1. If it multiplies to be negative, I need 1 of each. If it adds to be negative, again, larger number negative, yes? So with slip and slide, you go ahead and set up your 2 parentheses. X squared is x times x. 1 parenthesis is a plus 1. The other parenthesis is a minus 4. Now, this is where you've got to remember, it's slip and slide. What must we do next? You've got to divide that 2 back out. I am a horrible slip and slider because I keep forgetting that step. Okay? It's just not natural for me. I don't know. So you've got to remember to divide that 2 back out. With that in mind, this first factor officially becomes 2x plus 1. What about the other factor? It becomes x minus 2, right? If it doesn't divide, you move it back out front. If it divides, divide it. Now, this is an equation equal to 0, so what do we have to do to finish this off? Set each factor equal to 0. So 2x plus 1 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. Let's see, what do we end up with? 2x equals negative 1, so x equals negative 1/2, and x equals 2, right? And here, we're just solving the equation, aren't we? So is it okay to have negative answers? Yeah, we're just solving the equation. No big deal there. Okay. Do you want me to go back and work this one out or no? Okay. Here's what I'm going to say about this one over here that I skipped. You had to move the 17 over. Notice the 17 is like terms with the minus 3, isn't it? Okay. So you're getting it equal to 0. Do I have to slip and slide or product AC on this one? No, because it's a 1x squared, right? Okay. So you do your factors, set each one equal to 0. Okay. You have a few minutes. I'd say at least get in Savas and look and see where you're at. Make sure also, so tomorrow it's a work day, right? Okay. This is priority number 1, lesson 2.3, part 1. Get it done. Okay? And then, after you get that done, what should you also do? Some of you are way behind on some other Savases. Get those caught up, right? Some of you are not way behind, just a smidge behind. Get everything caught up in Savas. Okay? Okay. I'm going to go back to the end page just to end this.